Alright, hey guys, this is Thursday, April 9th for 7th grade science. So we'll have tomorrow off, and so this will be the last science lesson for today. So we'll finish for this week. So we'll finish out this current section. So what I need you to do is be on page 427. So page 427. And go ahead and read page 427 through page 429. So you can go ahead and do that and hit pause. So 427 through 429. So you can hit pause and we'll come back. Alright, so now that we're back and y'all done that reading and greatly enjoyed it and loved it and all that, I'll go ahead and clean it up. So what we have is another science investigation on page 427. Again, there's not much for me to pull out of that. It's just basically there for you to understand, for you to do the experiment if you have the stuff, but mainly just see how the experiments are done and see the process of it. So that'll move us to page 428. And so on page 428, we get plants, animals, fungi, and protozoa or eukaryotes, which are organisms that are organized with organized nuclei. Blue-green algae, which have a different cellular structure than other algae, are usually classified with bacteria in a separate group called prokaryotes, which are single-celled organisms that have no organized nuclei. And so the key there is eukaryotes are going to include an organized nuclei, and then you have prokaryotes, which are going to not have an organized nuclei. And so those are your key definitions there. So bacteria live in the air, soil, and water, as well as in the bodies of other organisms. Some seem to be neither harmful nor helpful. Others cause disease, spoil food, decompose valuable materials, and still others are beneficial. Nitrogen fixing bacteria in the soil perform the useful function of converting nitrogen from the air into forms that can be absorbed by plants and roots. It says, as prokaryotes, bacteria have a cell structure much different from that of a eukaryote. The most obvious difference, of course, is that bacterium has no nucleus. Instead of bacterium's single chromosome is stored in the cytoplasm without a nuclear envelope or other membranes surrounding it. And so the idea there is that bacteria, again, can have harmful things that happen because of it. Then you can also have neutral things where it doesn't really help or hurt anything. Then there also can be beneficial things that happen as a result of having bacteria. And so, of course, there's that spectrum. Bacteria isn't just all bad, and so you do have some good things that come out of it as well. So it says, down at the very bottom of the page, it says bacteria come in many shapes. Some of the most common shapes are spheres, cylinders, and spirals. Bacteria are typically much smaller than a eukaryotic cell. In fact, some bacteria are so small that they can live inside eukaryotic cells as parasites. Bacteria reproduce by a process called binary fission instead of mitosis. And so, one of the best known species of bacteria is the E. coli, because I'm not going to say that big old word. Just E. coli. We'll stick it safe there. So research on this bacterium has provided much of our present understanding of heredity. E. coli is often harmless and is one of the beneficial bacteria found in your large intestine. However, some types of this bacterium cause intestinal and urinary infection resulting in severe inflammation. Still, other types of E. coli contaminates food, causing food poisoning when eaten. So it says the blue-green algae are particularly hardy prokaryotes. They thrive in environments that would kill most other organisms. Some blue-green algae live in hot springs with temperatures reaching up to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Blue algae can be found as plankton in shallow water and serve as a food for fish. The Anabina is a genus of nitrogen-fixing freshwater cyanobacteria whose cells look like tiny beads or barrels. Instead of common fertilizer, farmers of Southeast Asia use Anabina in their rice paddies. And so again, you have some pictures there on page 429 to kind of show you what you're actually talking about here. So they give you a few different ones there. And then the last thing here is the creation clip. This is important for us just to kind of get some orientation on it. It says, although disease and death were not part of God's plan for a perfect creation, many bacteria have caused severe and sometimes fatal diseases because of the fall of man. In his providence, however, providence is just basically how God provides in his creation and time and his order. God has allowed even harmful bacteria to have helpful purposes. For For example, since the 1860s, doctors have occasionally used infectious bacteria to treat cancerous tumors. Several bacteria can attack tumors, including Streptococcus pyogenes, which is responsible for strep throat, Salmonella, which can cause food poisoning, and Clostridium sporogenes, a harmful bacterium also identical to the bacteria that causes botulism and tetanus. These or other bacteria probably had a helpful relationship with man before the destructive result of sin. Despite their personal creation after the fall, nature continues to show results of God's careful planning and design. So there's that for us on a theological level. So what I need you to do today, since we didn't do any questions yesterday, I do have a few to do today. So it's 1 through 13 on page 430. 1 through 13 on page 430, and we will see you guys next week. So go have a good weekend and everything.